Welcome back to the Katie Wellness Show. I am your host, Lindsey Katie. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you are here. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about healing. What is healing, and how is healing different from managing symptoms? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, heal means to make free from injury or disease, or dis-ease, as I like to say, dis-ease of the body is no longer at ease. Second definition, to make well again. Third, to cause an undesirable condition to be overcome. Now, if you have found yourself in any one of these, you can relate, right? Any of these definitions kind of speak to you, that you really wish and desire to be free of disease or injury, that you really wish you could be well again. And maybe you don't even understand what's wrong, but you truly wish that you could feel well again, or that you could overcome an undesirable condition. Healing is a process, and it's almost never linear. You know this. You have probably seen this in your life time and time again as you have tried to find answers to questions that you have. Maybe it's about your kids, maybe it's about a job or a relationship or weight loss, even health concerns. As much as I wish there was a one size fits all, or here is a pattern that you follow your life after, here is point A, and you take steps B, C, D, and E to get to where you need to go. There just isn't. And it's kind of unfortunate, but there are components of any healing journey that need to be present. And back in 2017, so in my podcast from last week, I talked about my healing journey, and it kind of all pivoted in November of 2017 when I went to a clinic in Mexico. I received incredible healing there. And while I wish I could say that I went to Mexico, I went to this clinic, I did the therapies, and I came home completely healed. The truth is that it took me at least 8 years before I could confidently say I'm healed from my bacterial infection and all of the damage that that caused in my body. However, I can say with certainty that the things I learned in Mexico absolutely changed my perspective of healing. Before Mexico, my perspective was, well, I have to get up and exercise every day. I have to drink a gallon of water. I have to eat protein at every meal and every snack and eat every 3 hours, right? There's so many things out there that influencers or experts will tell you that you have to do this in order to heal. And for me, in that time of my life when I was super, super sick, I honestly felt like a failure because I couldn't do those things. If I was drinking a lot of water, it meant I had to go to the bathroom, and it was incredibly painful to get myself undressed enough to go to the bathroom. I absolutely 100% could not exercise. Like, even going for a walk, taking care of my kids kind of felt like an exercise, right? Walking was extremely difficult. I couldn't look side to side to walk across the road. But the things that I learned in Mexico, the therapies that I did there helped me to learn what actually is true healing and how do we heal our bodies at a cellular level. And while exercise is really important, I have since learned that there are lots of different types of ways to move our body without completely depleting and draining and stressing our body out too much. So the things that I learned from Mexico that our bodies truly need to heal is boosting cellular nutrition. Oxygen, add oxygen to the body, oxygenate. They do a lot of ozone therapies or um, oxygen therapies at the clinic in Mexico. It's also really important to clear out toxins. first of all, to prevent them from coming in, but also to keep them going out. It's important to balance the body's energy. And it's important to add in needed components to heal the cellular structure of the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, anything that is like physically damaged, right? I had a torn ligament in my wrist from a cortisone shot gone wrong, I guess, just because there wasn't room in my wrist for that extra liquid. So I ended up having a torn ligament. Um, Part of my healing was that I needed stem cells. I needed those components added to boost the healing within my wrist and also within my neck because there was a lot of damage that was caused. Also, while in Mexico at the Bioadvanced Medical Center, I met with a nutritionist and I got a plan for reducing inflammation in my body. I didn't really understand a lot of what caused inflammation in the body, and she really helped me to see the different types of things that are more tend to have more toxins or more parasites, the things that raise inflammation within the body. And since 2017, I have had the chance to learn a lot more. It's a lot more mainstream information, the things that cause inflammation in the body. But at the time, maybe I just wasn't following the right people. Maybe I wasn't listening to the right podcast, but I did not have a lot of information about what causes inflammation. And I left the clinic. So after I was there for 3 days, I left the clinic so hopeful. I had movement in my neck and in my wrist. My inflammation was already starting to go down. I felt like I had energy. I felt better than I had in months. But I was also so broken. Everything that I had believed my whole life about health and wellness was being challenged. But also, I felt so much at home. I have had a deep mistrust in the medical system, not doctors. I love doctors. I love that they're trying to help people, and I'm not putting them down for that. But the system itself has to follow so many rules to protect itself. But I've, through emotional processing, and I'll talk more about that in a future episode, but I've had this really deep mistrust of the medical system since I was 8 or 10, just through experiences that I've had throughout my life. So I was so grateful to see that there were alternative options, that I wasn't confined to, okay, well, I'm sick. I guess I better go to the doctor so I can get a medication so I can fix it and feel better, knowing that those medications really are just covering up my symptoms, or not trusting that my body can heal from certain things. Not saying that medications are bad, but they are definitely overused and they are too often our go-to. Our first impulse is to reach for the meds. There are so many things that we can do for our bodies. We can boost the oxygen in our body. We can clear out toxins. We can balance our energy. We can boost our cellular nutrition through the food that we eat. So there are lots of things, and I'm learning so much more and more that we have so much control over our own health and well-being. That was probably one of my biggest takeaways from my now many trips to Mexico, but even just from that first time. And I left the clinic. Like I said earlier, I left broken. I left hopeful, but also discouraged. My whole perception of food was now being challenged. My whole perception of health was being challenged. Um, I felt like my food choices were very limited, and I wasn't sure how to make all the changes for myself without overwhelming my kids. Or I still wasn't 100%. I didn't have great energy. I was just starting to see benefits of reduced inflammation, but I knew that I had to make changes in my life. So I could keep that progress. So the elements that I learned about, the therapies that I learned about in Mexico are similar to what you'll find in most healing models outside of Western medicine. So whether you're following a holistic model or an integrative model, naturopathy or functional medicine, you often won't find a one size fits all approach, but you will find elements of cellular health, oxygen or breath work, detox, nutrition, the body's electrical and the body's electrical energy or electrical system. These are all going to be factors that will be found in any healing model outside of Western medicine, outside of here's a prescription drug. Please just take it and don't ask questions. So I want to challenge you. Ask questions. Ask questions. If you feel stuck in your life, if you feel like something is off, if you feel like you've done every blood test there is and your blood test says everything's fine, but you still don't feel fine, keep asking questions, keep digging deeper. The more that you ask why, the more that you open yourself up to receiving that information, God will bless you and put those influences in your life that you need to find the answers. I have seen it happen in my life over and over again. And it started with maybe a little breadcrumb of, oh, follow this person on Instagram, or, oh, this person on this podcast talked about this, and it's something that really impacted me and I really needed to hear it. God will put those crumbs for you. So as you open yourself up to the why am I stuck? Why am I feeling so bloated all the time? Why am I tired? Why am I snapping at my kids? Why do I feel like I can't change? Why do I feel like I keep doing the same things over and over and over again, hoping and expecting that something will be different? I believe that as we open ourselves up to these questions, that God will answer us. He'll put the people in our path that we need to hear from most. And one thing that I have added to my wellness model or my business practices is helping my clients focus on emotional wellness and emotional release, in addition to boosting cellular nutrition, oxygenating the body, clearing out toxins, balancing the body's energy, and adding those extra, whether it's supplements or stem cell injections. How do we support the body where it's at right now? I have learned that trapped emotions can keep us stuck in pain, in coping, in resentment, and in preventing true healing. I think it's also so important that you find a provider who makes you feel like an individual, that your voice matters, that your experiences matter, that they are going to ask about all parts of you, not just what are your symptoms, right? You want to find someone who is going to ask you about your sleep and your movement and your bowel movements and your nutrition and your water intake and what therapies are you doing and how are you taking care of your mental health. You want to find a provider who is going to look at you as a whole person and not just look at what are your symptoms. Okay, here's how we're going to treat the symptoms, because oftentimes there is something way deeper than that. That is one thing that I really appreciated about the Bio Advanced Medical team in TJ. I felt like an individual person, not just another number. The doctors were willing to explain to me what they were doing and why they were doing it. My treatment plan was tailored to me, even though they see lots of patients with symptoms similar to what I had. It was not a one size fits all. It was tailored to me. Here's my here's my second, I guess, my second big takeaway from my time, starting my health journey, my time in Mexico, that perspective shift. There is no one size fits all for everyone. Even if 10 people have the same disease or diagnosis, there is no one size fits all. Every individual is so different. Your genes are different, environment, your food availability, family relationships, your upbringing, your individual personality. And I say this to encourage you to keep going, to keep asking why, to keep looking for the provider who is going to be the one who's going to ask you about all the things, not just your symptoms, because you don't need to go to Mexico to heal, to get your questions answered about your health and about getting unstuck and about getting deeper to the root cause of why you're not feeling well. I'm not going to discourage you from going there because I love it. I still go to this day. I try to go at 2 times a year, but sometimes it's just once, just as maintenance, because it makes me feel better and it allows me to pour into the things that I love when I'm at home, my family, my job, my the service opportunities that I have in my community and through my church. So I'm not going to discourage you from going to Mexico. And if you want more information about the clinic specifically, please reach out to me. I will share my experiences with them, that I've had with them. The truth is that you can find ways to do many of these therapies at home. You don't have to go to Mexico. In fact, I have learned to do many of these therapies at home, and I want to teach you if you are ready to learn. So be sure to follow this show for more episodes to learn how to create an environment of healing in your own life, not only in your life, but in the lives of your family members. That is one of the biggest shifts that I've seen is that as I have become more health conscious, as I have learned these different things about health and what truly makes people healthy, what creates wellness, I have been able to take my family along for the ride. And that is something, giving my kids the gift of health and knowing how to take care of their bodies is, I feel like, one of the best gifts that I can give them going into life, going into adulthood, being a contributing member of society. For them to know how to take care of their health, there there are very few gifts that are greater than that. I also teach you how to make these changes in a way that don't feel overwhelming, in a way that feels practical. I did not feel like I had a lot of support when I was making changes to my diet. I was having to go dairy free and gluten free and egg free and pork free. And I had to be very limited on my red meat. And I couldn't do nightshades. And there were so many things at first. And I did not feel like I had the tools and the resources and the help and the support that I needed. And I do not want you, if you're in this place where you're stuck and you need to figure out a way to get unstuck, if you need to figure out a way to bring down the inflammation in your body or get to the root of your health problems, I do not want you to feel like you have to do it alone. Um, and now that I'm on the other side, I know that there are other people out there who have gone through similar things. And I wish I would have known to connect with them in the moment, but I'm here for you. I want to be on your journey with you to help you find the root cause, to give you the tools and the resources that you need to heal your body through your habits, through supplements, through learning what your body needs, learning to ask your body what it needs, whether it's through muscle testing or through hair scans. There are lots of ways that we can ask your body what it needs. So Just know that you are not on this healing journey alone. Reach out to me if you have questions. I want to connect with you. You can find my website and my Instagram account in the show notes. I hope to hear from you, and I hope you know that you are not alone. And I hope you continue to ask why. Why do I feel this way? How can I get feeling better? God knows you and he loves you and he wants you to answer your question. He wants to answer your questions if you are willing to ask. And if you're willing to be open to the answers. The answers that I received were not what I was expecting ever. Um, when I was praying to know how I could get rid of my fatigue and my bloating, I was thinking it would be like, oh, maybe don't eat this certain type of food or, make these changes in your habits. No, it was, hey, you actually need to start a business in health and helping other people. And also, you need to go back to school to learn more about the body. So be open to those promptings. We are meant to be well. Our bodies have the ability to heal, and I believe in you, and I hope the best for you. I can't wait for you to join me next week. Thank you for being here today. We'll see you later.